The episode kicks off with a high stakes shocker when Miriam arrives at her cafe restaurant and is completely devastated by what she sees. The entire place has been utterly trashed. A terrified employee tells her that a group of thugs pulled up in multiple cars, destroyed everything in sight, and left a letter behind. Miriam opens the warning note, which cold bloodedly states that this was just a trailer, and whether she wants to see the rest of the movie is entirely up to her, warned that her stubbornness will cost her dearly. The suspense and intensity peak when Miriam receives a blank check via courier. Right then, her phone rings, and a representative from the GYT group delivers a chilling, calculated ultimatum. There are only 2 hours left before the banks close, and she has until 5 p.m. to fill out any amount she wants and deposit it. If she refuses, it will be the biggest mistake of her life because Ghazi Yusuf's group will take that land one way or another. Caught in a web of fear and psychological pressure, Miriam panics, completely torn over what to do or who to turn to. She considers telling Ilham, but stops herself, fearing her daughter will get emotional and make things worse. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Ilham is sitting by herself, deeply distressed. When asked what's wrong, she breaks down in tears, revealing that her mother's health is rapidly deteriorating. Despite being on the heart transplant waiting list, there has been zero positive news due to blood compatibility issues. She feels utterly helpless, trapped at her hospital duty while unable to be by her mother's side, especially since her mother isn't even picking up her calls. The scene shifts to Ghazi Yusuf's headquarters, where he is strictly ordering his right-hand man, Zakaria, to finish the job by any means necessary. Suddenly, Seyhan walks in and demands to know what new business is being hidden from him. Ghazi Yusuf tries to brush it off, but Seyhan insists he has a strong gut feeling that something dark is happening. Seyhan then asks his father what he would do if someone ever snatched him away. Fueled by sheer arrogance and power, Ghazi Yusuf boasts that anyone trying to take his son would have to dig their own grave first, declaring that the land and time bend to his will. He can take a life or grant breaths whenever he pleases. Seyhan argues that love, not power, is the greatest force in the world, but Ghazi Yusuf dismisses his philosophy as nothing but garbage. Moments later, Ghazi Yusuf's thugs launch a second raid on Miriam's restaurant, aggressively forcing her to sign the property transfer papers. Showing incredible grit, Miriam refuses to back down and threatens to call the police. The gang leader rings up Zakaria to report that the woman is too stubborn and refuses to be intimidated. Ghazi Yusuf intentionally puts the call on speakerphone so Seyhan can see how the real world operates. The moment the thugs threaten to smash whatever is left of the cafe, Seyhan snaps. He snatches the phone, commands the thugs to stop immediately, and shouts that he is coming down himself. Furious at his father for terrorizing women, Seyhan demands the location and storms out to handle it himself. A calculating Ghazi Yusuf sends back up to follow his son. The second Seyhan arrives at the restaurant, he tries to calm Miriam down. However, the moment Miriam realizes that these criminals work for Seyhan's father, Ghazi Yusuf, she is shattered by the ultimate betrayal. Overwhelmed by anger and a broken heart, she tells Seyhan that their friendship is officially over and orders them all to get the hell out. Suffocated by shame and guilt, Seyhan calls his father right then and there, lying that the property has now been sold to him and he will not allow anyone to touch it. He barks orders at Zakaria and the rest of the thugs to lower their weapons and restore the restaurant exactly to how it was. The cafe's chef and staff slowly creep out from their hiding places. Seyhan sincerely apologizes to Miriam, confessing that his father's ruthless obsession with money and power is the exact reason he distances himself, though he feels trapped because his father never remarried out of pure love for him after his mother passed. Seyhan promises to make things right and vows that he will bake the birthday cake for her daughter, Ilham, with his own hands. The plot takes a mysterious turn as a new character, Bilal Ahmed, enters the frame. Shaking hands with a powerful figure, Bilal confidently asserts that the man is lucky to be shaking his hand, as he usually chops off any hand that reaches for his collar. Bilal proudly declares that he has massive dreams and is incredibly close to achieving them. Back at the mansion, Ghazi Yusuf is losing his mind with rage, realizing his fierce reputation in the city has been compromised all because of one woman. Seyhan walks in smoothly and suggests his father simply tell the city that he bought the place as a gift for his son. Ghazi Yusuf snaps that this woman is costing him millions, to which Seyhan fires back that while he might be emotional, he learned his business tactics straight from his father. He firmly instructs Zakaria that by tomorrow evening, Miriam's restaurant must look brand new. In the next sequence, disaster strikes at home when Miriam suddenly collapses while working, severely injuring her foot. Screaming in agonizing pain, the house help frantically calls Ilham, who is caught up with a heavy influx of patients at the hospital. Ilham panics upon hearing her mother's cry, but Miriam tries to downplay it, claiming she just slipped. When Miriam is rushed to the hospital, an incredibly frustrating situation unfolds. Ilham and a group of doctors are tucked away in a back room, happily setting up a surprise birthday cake, completely oblivious to the fact that Miriam is lying on a stretcher outside, groaning in severe pain. Seyhan spots Miriam in this agonizing state and loses his temper at the hospital staff's sluggishness. When a nurse casually informs him that the orthopedic surgeon is tied up in the OR and it will take at least half an hour, Seyhan's patience snaps entirely. In a flash of pure adrenaline, he snatches a gun from his bodyguard and aims it directly at the terrified hospital staff. Miriam begs him to stop, but Seyhan coldly barks that this is the only way these people understand. Wielding the weapon, he kicks open the door to the break room, just as Ilham and her colleagues are about to cut the cake. Seyhan stands there, gun raised, and mockingly claps, sneering that patients are suffering outside while the doctors are busy partying. He orders a trembling Ilham to cut the cake in front of him so they can all celebrate. As absolute terror grips the room, Seyhan Dangerous introduces himself. The name is Seyhan Ghazi. He demands she cut the cake for Miriam, Chanda, leaving the atmosphere thick with suffocating tension. In the episode's final scene, Ilham finally arrives home at 3 a.m., where Miriam is patiently waiting up for her. Miriam happily coaxes Ilham into cutting her birthday cake, mentioning that a very wonderful friend, Seyhan, actually helped bake it. After the celebration, Miriam's mood turns somber. She brings up her other daughter, Ilahi, who refuses to answer her calls, sadly weeping that Ilahi will probably only understand a mother's unconditional love after she is dead. Ilham holds her tight, comforting her, and the episode closes on a heavy emotional note as mother and daughter weep in each other's arms.